What's the worst thing you've ever been accused of while being completely innocent? Anabolic steroids. I was a high jumper on my college's track and field team, and we would have to do urine tests every so often. Well, one of mine came back from the lab positive for anabolic steroids, which give women who take them strong manly-like features. I was 58 and 125 lbs. Luckily the lab broke the tests into 2 samples and eventually tested the second sample, showing it was clean. Apparently the lab had a contaminated batch of test tubes, and the company had to fly reps into my college to apologize to me and a baseball player this both happened to. It was a scary couple weeks. Well, similar situation here. In my senior year of HS, I started working out consistently for the first time. 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. I managed to put on a lot of muscle rather quickly, which of course made the entire school think I was taking steroids. Even the teachers began asking me about it. Bank robbery. I was early for my first day as a gas jockey in a new city. I was across the street from the gas station, digging through my backpack when suddenly somebody told me to show them my hands. I was totally confused to look up and see 2 RCMP officers, hands on their sidearms. They didn't draw or anything. Turns out there had been a bank robbery around the corner a few minutes before, and my gas jockey uniform and backpack matched the description. They looked inside my bag, containing my brown bag lunch and a paper bag, and then they were gone in a flash. Apparently, the guy didn't get caught until after another bank robbery in the same area. Wow, that cold escalated real badly. Good thing these 2 officers were reasonable. Yeah, and good thing he wasn't wearing a stormtrooper costume too. Had just moved to a new school in 5th grade, was never great at making new friends, so I thought I'd sugar them up by bringing sugar mixed with Kool-Aid, something that was popular at my old school. Who doesn't love a bunch of 10-year-olds licking their fingers and dipping them in a baggie of sugar? Apparently, an older kid had given several first graders heroin during this time, and it got pegged on me. I was removed from class. Police came. I cried like a bitch because I didn't understand why they thought my grape Kool-Aid was heroin. I kept telling them to taste it. The principal finally did and realized I was telling the truth. Awesome first week of school. Did you get some street cred? Not up, but once I got street cred at school for beating up a kid that everyone hated. He ruined my tech deck, and I was really pissed, but I only hit him once on the arm. The thing was though, I had to chase him down first, and he was quick, so the chase went through the entire school right as class was getting out and literally everyone saw the chase, but almost no one saw the fight. You don't mess with a man's tech deck. I helped a friend of my mother move when I had just turned 18 for no pay, and this lady accused me of stealing one of her guns. I booked it straight to the police department to explain the situation. When she tried to report me, they told her she was crazy. They already spoke to me, and that criminals that steal guns don't go directly to the police. Drugs. Shockingly enough, my parents' divorce made me act out at 9 years old, and I kept distracting other kids in class. My mom was convinced it was because I was doing drugs and yanked hair out of my head and made me get blood tested. They found nothing because I was 9 years old. You mean you weren't doing cocaine at 9? Did you even have a childhood? You heard it here first, folks. I'm so sorry to disappoint my fans, but unfortunately 9-year-old me just wasn't hard. Rookie Mayo. In 3rd grade I walked to a convenience store with $2 and spent 20 minutes trying to decide what candy to get, picking things up and putting them back. The old lady clerk accused me of stealing and said to never come back. That was a bit problematic given it was the only gas station in my small town, and I've moved back and been living here for the last 15 years. Have you gone back? His car has been running on empty for 15 years. Cold get petrol. Dude had no choice but to found Tesla. I got kicked out of a sit-down restaurant during my company Christmas party for doing drugs in the bathroom. When the manager told me to leave and that they don't allow that behavior here, my boss and 20 plus other employees vouched for me that I had not left the table for 2+ hours the entire duration of the party. The manager called my boss an idiot and made me leave. No one in my company has been back since. How did they even get the idea you did drugs in the bathroom? My table was seated close to the bathroom. Classy, right? And apparently some guy walked out smelling like drugs. When the restaurant manager confronted him, he pointed at me. I still have no idea why she believed that guy. That's so stupid. Drugs. When I was in high school I had a very monotonous voice that my parents thought was fake, and anytime we were out they would ask someone to tell me what I sound like, because they thought that if I was embarrassed enough I would talk normally. Instead it made me talk less and me shut out some of my friends in my life. When they realized I wasn't talking they jumped to conclusions and accused me of doing drugs. What really made them think I was doing drugs was when I lost $20 at my school's picnic. They were constantly counting my money to see if they can prove I was doing drugs, and realized that I was missing $40 and told me to tell them what happened to it. I explained to them that I had a picnic at school and brought $40 with me, but lost half of it. They said my story didn't add up, so they started to rummage through my backpack and room anytime I wasn't at home, and would ask for the names of my friends and anyone that I was talking to so that they could run background checks on them. This is tame compared to others in this thread, but it's one that has stuck with me for ages. When I was really little, around 6, my aunt was babysitting me. My sweet dog was shedding fur. My aunt accused me of cutting her fur. She had me across her knee saying she wouldn't spank me if I admitted it. I was sobbing uncontrollably because I loved my dog. We were the same age, and she was like a second mom and would never do that to her. My mom came home not long after, and I do remember her being livid. Despite my issues with my mom, she never once laid a hand on me. My mom couldn't believe that her sister never comprehended that animals shed fur in clumps. My older sister did something similar. She accused me after I left her place of shaving her cat after she noticed some bald spots on him. After denying it, because who on earth would shave someone's cat? She then assumed I had put lotion on him and he was having a reaction from it, thus resulting in hair loss. Again, which I did not do. Turns out, he has severe separation anxiety and would lick bald spots and sores to the point of bleeding on himself when he was alone. He now has one of these pheromone things that you stick into the wall that's supposed to calm him down and feel not alone, and I'm guessing he's doing better with it. She never apologized for accusing me, and I'm still upset she would think I would do something like that. Accused of breaking a girl's arm on a bounce house at a local fair when I was like 8 had been on there only a few seconds. Was just doing my thing, and I heard screaming. We all stopped. The girl had an obviously broken arm and pointed at me and said he did it with her non-broken arm. Of course. Dude in charge kicked me off. No refund. I found my family and explained it to them, and my uncle said he was recording me on his camcorder when it happened. 1982. The camcorder was the size of a briefcase and ran on VHS tapes, but we had no way to play it back while there. Went home, plugged the thing into the VCR and played it back. Absolute 100% that it wasn't me. But then I got a life lesson in how being right doesn't mean you win. My dad pointed out we'd have to walk 15 minutes back to the bounce house and argue with them, with no way of showing them the video unless they sent someone to our house to watch it. Or to get the 10p that I paid for 5 minutes on the bounce house, it would have been, at best, a pick victory. Most likely they'd tell us to piss off. Probably kicking my young son. I was carrying something like hot tea or soup and he went to grab me, so I put my knee out to stop him getting close to me and scalding himself. But for some reason, everyone else in the room thought I kicked him or kneed him. Very strange situation. 8,000 Australian dollars worth of credit card fraud. I was 12 and my parents got a call asking for me. Scariest shit ever. How did that happen? I don't know if this is how it happened, but in the US it is a fairly common form of fraud for identity thieves to steal children's identities and open credit cards in their names. I seem to remember that this is most commonly committed by the parent though. When I was 11 I was accused by a babysitter that I was molesting my sister when I was really playing my Nintendo DS with her. It was completely unbelievable because she said that she made it all up because she didn't want to change diapers. She got fired by my mom and the last I saw her she was living in her car. I was 9 and a Girl Scout. I was attending a Girl Scout camp and the leader accused me of throwing trash around the campsite. She made me sit in a chair in the corner of a building. I remember crying over the whole situation. For the record, I didn't throw trash around the campsite. The leader was a mean woman. Did anyone actually have a good time in Girl Scouts? I really don't remember if I enjoyed Girl Scouts. I know this leader caused me worry and anxiety. I quit Girl Scouts when I was 11. Well, not accused, more like suspected. I was hanging with my circle of friends. The evening news came on. Story about some creepo reported sneaking into elementary schools and hanging out in the bathrooms. Nothing happened at this point. Just some scared kids. And he wasn't caught. But due to multiple eyewitnesses, they were able to display a fairly confident police sketch. It was 100% me. In the deafening silence that followed, all my friends turned slowly to look at me. One said, "No kidding. I'm calling the cops." Apostrophe. Wait, so did you do it? Haha. As per the question, I was innocent. I'm not such a creepo. Nor was I in the city where this occurred. I had been. But not during the time it happened. They say everyone has a doppelganger somewhere. Apparently mine was a pedo. There was a creative writing class at my high school for seniors. You have to write a creative piece to apply to the class. I wrote a piece and got into the class. The class was in my second semester, spring. At the end of the full semester, my mom takes me out of the class. Why? She accused me of plagiarizing my paper because she thought I didn't write it. She said that it wasn't like papers that I wrote before. I did write it though. She didn't even have proof. A friend who became a friend with benefits called me a lying asshole the first time we had sex. Followed immediately by "You told me you had a vasectomy." She didn't realize that a vasectomy just takes the seeds out of the orange juice. It doesn't eliminate the orange juice. My mom accused me of smoking weed back in high school because she found a matchbook in my pants. I only had the matchbook because it had a funny Mexican man on it, so I decided to pocket it. My real crime was racism/stereotyping, I guess. Why just weed? Why not cigarettes or elsewise? I spent a semester abroad in Germany during my junior year of high school. I ended up having to come home early due to falling ill. I came back to school, and turns out someone spread a rumor that I was found in bed with multiple men, and that's why I had been kicked out of the program. Everyone believed it, of course, and my senior year was completely destroyed, while I've never fully recovered. No way you would have been kicked out of the program because of that. Being in bed with multiple men is not frowned upon. We Germans call that a cozy afternoon. I was accused of plotting to shoot up my high school 2 separate times. Guess that's what I get for being the really quiet kid. But in my defense, I was just really high all the time, lol. The same thing happened to me in foster care. I was accused, and I couldn't even defend myself. My foster parent believed me to be crazy and insisted that it's something I would do. So I was put into an alternative education school, and now I have trouble getting a job because the school keeps telling people I never graduated high school when I have their diploma. I'm working on getting my JED now, just to not miss out on another job that does background checks. I lost out on 4 jobs already because of it. Sue the school main. Calling a girl a bunch of racial slurs and bad words while she was calling me these things. I had witnesses too. It was very stupid. I was like 6 or 7 and my family took us to this big house party hosted at our pastor's house. While there, I found the other kids and we started playing. Well, there were some bars there along some stairs, like part of the handle going up. And this girl decided she wanted to play jail and starting pulling on the bars pretending she was in jail. And she broke the bars. So for the rest of the party she went around telling everyone, "Look what Born_Slippy did." Well, that got around to the owner of the house and they weren't happy because they had just renovated it. My parents then had to offer to pay for repairs. All because I was too afraid to tell them it wasn't my fault. The people should have sued the builders. Those bars are called balusters and absolutely should not have come out because a small child was playing with them. They are meant to prevent people from falling off the damn stairs and hold back a fully grown man. Hey, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.